Jodi. How are you?
Hello. I'm so upset that I missed you while you were in New York, but I
I
got to
know.
see your TED Talk, your
Yeah.
Harlem TED Talk. So it was
Yeah.
great.
Thank you. I'm so excited. How'd you see it?
Well, I have my
Oh,
ways.
I haven't seen it.
I know.
Oh, Jodi. This is why Jodi's company is called Friends of Jodi.
I got some
Like,
friends.
Jodi's got some friends. She is a master connector, has a whole business on it. But I'm so excited because Jodi said yes when she has a lot going on. And like I said with some of the other people, this is not for the faint. Like we are meeting multiple times a week in the evenings, on the weekend, and it's a lot, but I think it is important, and I want to introduce Jodi so we can kick off the conversation. So Jodi Brockington is a leadership strategist, pitch ecosystem builder, and cultural architect with 15 years experience advising Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, and high growth organizations. As the founder of NIARA Consulting and FOJ Network, Friends of Jodi Network, she creates people centered strategies that strengthen leadership, elevate culture, and drive measurable impact. She is nationally recognized for producing high impact pitch competitions, including the National Urban League Small Business Matters Pitch Contest, and has coached hundreds of founders in securing capital, visibility, and strategic partnerships. She also serves as the Chief Partnership Officer and co founder of Venture Philanthropy Blueprint, or VPB, connecting founders, funders, and mission driven organizations. Her advisory work includes partnerships with Honda, the Home Depot, and Boeing through Paragon One. She is also the founder of Blended and a Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business alumna. Welcome,
Thank
welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. How are you?
I'm great. And I now need to add into my bio that I'm AI certified. Thanks.
Yeah, that part you are. So let's talk about your career because when we first connected and I
Mhm.
saw that your company name was Friends of Jodi and your company is about connecting people, what inspired you to create Friends of Jodi Network and what gap were you hoping to fill when you went down this journey?
I think it was actually a girlfriend of mine who created FOJ. So we would be at dinners or events, and I would host them, or I would be at them, and they'd be like, "So, Bethany, are you an FOJ? Are you an FOJ?" And then you would know that you weren't coming to hang out with me. There were people in that room you needed to meet. Some people have been married, some people have done business deals, some people dated, some people have then, collaborated on other partnerships. So it just became a thing. And so even when I would go to places like your Cheers in your neighborhood, they're like, and you'd be waiting for me, they'd be like, are you FOJ? Are you waiting for Jodi? Because I don't know, I guess my friends have a look, serious, getting stuff done, having a good time, and wanting an experience, right? And the gaps I saw, or the things I saw, the reason why I wanted this is that I think all my friends are amazing. Just like I think you're amazing, but not everyone knows you. Not everyone needs to know you, but putting people in the right places, right rooms, right financial backing if it's a business. But as a person, you might need something small like a dog walker, a babysitter. And I don't even have kids, but I can find you that, right? So it became kind of like a thing. No one ever calls me and says, "Hey, Jodi, how are you?" all the time. It's just like, "Hey, I'm going to Paris next week and my wife is a vegan and I need some vegan restaurants." Okay. So they always say build businesses around your strengths and what people reach out to you for on a regular basis. And it's either advice, a job, some money, or things to do, experiences. So that's where the FOJ network came from. So
That is incredible. So in our world right now, it's increasingly technology, like social media started to deteriorate what human relationships and connections felt like, in my opinion.
mhm.
And now AI, a whole new layer. Why do relationships still matter so much?
Well, as you just heard from Janet, right? We just heard from her that, you know, technology can increase your amount of information, put more systems in place, but relationships are the only place where you can scale trust. And it's that trust that's going to matter. So even as you've taught us to train bots to take care of some administrative costs or systems and schedule my calendar, they still need to be taught some of the emotions, right? Like, oh, if Bethany wants a meeting, you say yes, right? If my mom needs to talk to me tomorrow, maybe not. I'm not ready for mom yet, or a mentor, right? So there's parts that AI can help us find information faster, put systems in place, but they cannot replace the credibility and the empathy of a human, right? A lived experience. And that is what people pay for. That's what people want and need to learn better how to activate and leverage who they already have in their network. I think people think of networking as like a transaction, or like where you could put it on AI, but it doesn't work that well. And I've been trying to infuse AI in a lot of my trainings in networking and activations with large and small groups, but it makes it more fun, and there's things that we can do, but it really allows me as a human to connect better with the humans that are in the room, because I don't have to worry about how things are going to run, right? Like today we're on this platform, we can talk from two different places, but I'm making a connection with you and those in the audience, not the technology.
And I think there's a saying that I know you know the saying that the value, your net worth is
Is
your
your
network, or your
for
network
sure.
is your network. One of those
Yeah.
things. So, what does a meaningful networking look like today compared to 10 years ago? Because I feel like we'd have to go outside to network in the past. And I don't know if that's still the case.
Well, I think the networking still requires the same thing it always had, which is, giving first, not expecting on the front end, right? Like, so what can I offer you as where we can meet, right? And the authenticity, right? And then the consistency. So if I say I'm going to participate in your certification, I better be on there. And, I told you, so there's that follow through. And I always use a 48-hour window. It doesn't mean you have to have that full meeting in 48 hours, but you should at least follow up, right? And there's tools on AI. So now on LinkedIn, right, you can use the QR code, you can quickly get someone's information versus that original traditional business card that when I started with my first assistant, she swore to me to never take a business card again because she had 3 travel size moving boxes of mine that had business cards that needed to be scanned, right? This is before CRMs were really popular and before everyone was using Excel in that way, right? So I've seen the transition of how communication and technology can totally help catapult a career, a business, and a personal life. But that genuine exchange is still what's important. So even, all this online dating, you meet someone even on LinkedIn you're not dating, but it's a business transaction, right? And then eventually I need to meet you. If I don't actually end up, unless it's just, physically impossible, you live in space, even now we can go there thanks to SpaceX, right? But it's the idea that technology can bring us closer faster because I can now see you. Otherwise, if we had to do this live, everyone you have on here today is in a different city, state, country, right? Including yourself. So it takes longer. And so that's what we kind of learned in COVID, even for interviews and hiring practices, that the proximity, but eventually you need to be in front of the people or the person or that business. You need to touch it. It's like buying clothes. How blue is that shirt? If you saw it online, you didn't know how blue and how close were the stripes, right? How high was this turtleneck? So those personal touches, that's why stores still exist, because you want to know, you got to touch that material, you have to see things. So the same thing works in networking. So AI is great to bring it together and technology is great, but then I do need to shake your hand, give you a hug and a high five, right? Like I need all of that.
Right. So how do you go from transforming an introduction
Mhm.
into a long-term opportunity or a partnership that's a meaningful partnership?
Mm. Well, I was trying to get this beautiful quote from a mentor of mine, and he literally told me yesterday, and I was like, I needed to write it down, but he didn't text me back. So, but it's the idea that you need to be remarkable in front of people to be reminded of what you do. So that's where having systems in place and having a CRM to get a newsletter out, right? Like a lot of my friends didn't know I was doing this until today, right? Because they finally got some information, or I finally had a moment to post. But, so there's those kind of mechanisms, but it's the idea that you have to really be thoughtful. I mean, I have a large network. I now have someone, not just now, for years, I've had someone helping me with my LinkedIn profile just to get back to people, or to get a ping like, oh, Bethanie's going to be in New York. Oh, you should see if she's going to be, has a moment between her family and all her other obligations, right? So there's things that I pay attention to on a regular basis. I listen, go to LinkedIn, I go to Instagram, I go across social. I see where my main circuit, and then it's communication and relationships, especially in networking, is like when you drop a stone in water and you get those ripples. Right now, today, Bethanie, you are everything because I am on this, I am here, right? A week from now, you're going to go into that other circle because you're going to go on vacation. It's going to be the holiday. No one's going to, right? But you're going to have feed that comes from this, and some of the people I missed this morning, but we're in the group. I want to give them a high five. I just want to say hello, so you pay attention to what's important, right? Or if I'm going to come to Africa, I look at my Africa network, right? If I'm going to the Caribbean, so you have to still pay attention to what's important. And there's still the hierarchical stuff. Like I said, I have mentors still, I have peers, and I have mentees. And so I also want to give them a graduation, right? You just graduated. Great. What's next? Because I know you're going to come to me to ask you to help you find a job, right? Like, or help you with your mock interview before you go. Or do you know someone at Pfizer? Do you know someone at where they're applying, right? So things are going to come, and you never want your outreach to someone to be because they haven't heard from you in years, unless it is your bestie from like elementary school. I still have some of those friends, right? So it's keeping track, and it's making sure that you can build those strong relationships, but it's still consistency in time. So think of it as a family. Not all family members you see as much as others. Some live closer, some live further, some you love, some you're kind of, you're not so sure about, right? So it's those kind of things. And when there's mutual value and a focus on creating that, like standard of keeping in touch. And I think I always have had a great job at doing that. And I really think it was my father who taught me to be this master connector, because he's like, you got to treat everyone like they are the best. It doesn't matter if they're the mechanic or a CEO, because you never know when you're going to have to get into a building, get your car fixed, get a job, like whatever it is, you need to know someone. You got to have a deep bench. You can't just know one person someplace. You need to know a few. Like when I was a school teacher, it didn't matter about how well the principal liked me. I needed a relationship with the lunch lady so I can get snacks for my kids when they're good. I needed the maintenance guy to let me into the building when it was cold, not waiting for them to open up, right? So there's different things that you're going to need to succeed wherever you are, right? And so you always want to be smiley, happy, even when you're not, when you're trying to get things, right? Or move things into your favor.
So I am super curious on what role AI has played, because I haven't talked to you. Like, I have not seen you. I have no idea what you're doing. So I would love to know how AI is helping you scale your impact, your community, and business initiatives that you're working on.
Yeah, no, for me, AI has totally changed how I can function in the world and given me some of my time back. So I can actually find you and pay attention to what people are doing a little bit more, right? Not just you, but anyone. So it helped me streamline my communication. People actually know what I'm doing now because I actually have a newsletter, because I have a template. You're queen of templates, boy. If you go through her certification, you will make templates like there is no other. So I have letters, newsletters, things I never had before, and especially on content and development, because a lot of the stuff I create is really straight from my head. And often founders and entrepreneurs are often solopreneurs or have a small team like I do and you do, right? And so now if I'm going to train some bots and some other AI tools to help me, I need to communicate better. I need to be able to really get down to the nitty gritty of what it is that I want. It frees up this time that I can, actually invest in maybe having a good relationship across the board, personal and with my family and with my friends. It made me realize how far away my close friends are, but how far away they do not feel because I stay in communication. And the goal for AI is not to so much replace people, but just create more capacity, and I can serve the people who I want to serve better. And so technology totally supports any mission. It does not replace it. And so even with my work in Venture Philanthropy Blueprint, what we provide our fellowship members, those who get into our fellowship, is a platform with a bunch of AI tools that can plug in, because that's usually the one thing that can change their trajectory, their growth, and then their value of then getting invested in, bought out, or for them to be able to make enough money to buy and acquire and merge with other businesses to grow, right? But there has to be a more even playing field, and AI can really do that. Everyone's so scared of AI. We've been in it for so long that people don't realize, right? So for me, it's really getting me organized, communication, and being able to then really do my work, which is talking to people.
So if we can talk about the work that you do with entrepreneurs and professionals, that how do they build authentic relationships without feeling transactional? Because I think there's a lot of us that are like, I need this thing, I need this connection, I need these things, and it's just like this transactional energy, but there's so much value in the relationship. So how do you do that without feeling transactional and building relationships?
Well, the transactional feeling is when I just call you at midnight. Oh my God, Bethany, I need something, right? Versus over time, getting to know, right? So we met at I met you before Black Enterprise Women of Power, but then I saw how much more powerful, like I knew you from workforce development. So I'm like, well, AI is part of workforce. I was trying to put all the Bethany pieces together in my head, but then you were in that room of over 700 women training us, right, to do things. And I was like, oh, and I was like, but now with my network, I could help you, right? I could get the word out about the trainings, the stuff that you do, where you're going to take it, right? So you have to be more authentic. You have to think kind of futuristically. What are some of the things what are some of the relationships that I don't have now, or things that I need, that I have people in my network that I have not ask for? Because people are always like, you have so many people in your network, and I was like, yeah, they're not on LinkedIn. 90, like that small a number on LinkedIn is not my number, but it's large enough number for me to always be conscious of. I mean, you forget your grandmother's birthday, or you forget something, right, small but meaningful, versus something that's meaningful. So what are some tools, what are some people that you're going to need? Are you going to need some investors? But you can't ask them the day you need the investment. You need to start now, because they need to get to know you, because it still comes down to trust and time served and consistency. So maybe I need an investor for one of my businesses, but I'm not going to just ask the person. First of all, I'm going to bring them some other people like you, Bethany, that I know they could invest in right away, because your business is up, running, and really solid, right? You have the numbers, you've done your valuations. But on the other hand, at this point, I'm not ready to ask, but I want them close by. And if I've helped them, then they should be able to help me, right? So it's just how that works. So it's not doing stuff in that rushed feeling, like you should never feel. And that's really what turns people off. And then the other thing is, you do need to provide value ahead of time, right? It's kind of like, you don't become, a mentor chooses you because they're hooking their little car to yours, because you're going to be something, and they're going to invest some time in you because they want to be associated with that just as much as you want to be associated with them, right? So that's a mentor. A sponsor is really that golden nugget of someone who can help you, talks about you when you're not in the room, says, oh, Bethany should be speaking at this conference, she should be here, why did you not, like, don't you know she's this, right? So someone who's going to speak you to existence, on a regular basis and where you need to show up. And I think it's just those kind of things that I really feel like it's not transactional. It's like, oh, I'm not telling you to go speak at something that doesn't make sense. There's no AI there, Jodi. Like this, I do AI. Like I don't talk about vegetables. I was like, oh, right. So I wouldn't have you. But if it was a health conference that was going to bring people to, use AI to better serve a health community and it dealt with food, right? Then it makes more sense, right? But you need to have all the connections and the reason to come to them and not in a last minute desperate moment. It has to be over time and almost to the point where they should be coming to you because they should be saying, oh, Jodi, you sent us 10 other businesses. How's yours doing? They should eventually ask me, like, Jodi, don't you need some money? And I should be like, yes, I do. And what I need, and now I'm ready because I know I need $1.3 million to do XYZ to get me to this next level. I need that to hire these people, to put in this new AI stack, to do what, like, right. So then I have the clarity versus I didn't know how much money to ask for. I might have asked for 5 million and not that I have no problem asking, but they're going to want to know all the things. And so that's what you need to not be desperate about it. Think about it. Just go back to childhood. Like you don't want to go to your mom at that last minute because you want to go on a trip. You knew the trip was coming. You know that you needed that money, right? You don't ask at the last minute because she might say yes.
So as we close,
Yeah.
these are phenomenal tips. This is going to be one I'm going to have to rewatch because I have to listen. Like I have to like look at I have to like look at all the things. But um, as you look ahead, what is exciting you the most right now about the future of leadership, community, the intersection with AI? What are you excited about?
I think the future lies in those of us that can lead and combine innovation with humanity, right? Like not be afraid of technology, use it for what you need it for to make those human connections more valuable. Because at the end of the day, we are still the ones training the computers, the bots, that we're the ones still building the technology. I don't think any of us who are existing today are going to outlive that. Now, maybe if you have grandkids or kids, they might, but the human advantage will always be the relationship builder. It's we're going to build it and also decide who to cut out of your network, right? There's also that. So, one of the very early examples you gave us in the training was, you could get a great AI assistant to schedule you, but until you say, I don't speak to anyone before 11, I only speak to my mother on the weekend. You got to give parameters, value, and add. And that's a human touch, right? Like, and they have to embrace technology. This whole thing that we see out there, fear of technology, it's taking jobs. No, it's making us think about what are the jobs that we really need? What are the tools and the things out there that we need to move us forward into the future? And it will still be a human connections that make that happen until there's a time that we're not here, but I'd love to see it if I do have a second life or a third. I could be in that now. So I just think AI will continue to grow, but so will we. And we need to embrace it and take it in. So I hope everyone is smart enough who crosses your path to at least spend a little time in one of your lessons and with your full team that really brought us all here today. So
thank you. Thank you, Jodi. It's so
this was
good to
great.
spend time with you. And I hope you have an amazing weekend. And I'll see you somewhere
Oh, I will
in
find
real
you.
life somewhere.
Exactly. IRL, right?
Right. Thank you. Take care.
Now you guys enjoy the rest of the summit.
Thank you.